Welcome again to the Hydrofoil GP, the most realistic foiling e-sailing circuit in the world. And my name is Ilya, known as Ilya at Rametto in Discord and social media. And I'll be again your host today, again joining from Helsinki, Finland. And today I have my usual and trusted co-host Murray. Hi, Murray.
G'day, Ilya. Good to be here. Happy Easter. Nice long weekend. We don't have any special guests today, but that's all right. Everyone's off having family dinners, no doubt. And we're out here watching e-sailing racing. So excited. Week 3.
That's right. Easter and daylight savings and all, but today we're gonna have a good show coming from Sydney. Before we jump in there, so we'll have also a wave from the umpire studio. And
g'day, umpire. Good to see you.
And then going forward, let's talk about what do we have today.
Yeah, today, well, we're on the third event of the series. We're in Sydney today. Light winds, pretty hectic conditions, the opposite end of what we've had so far in the season. And I'm very excited to get into it.
Right, and this is the third event. And before we go into the Rio event, so we have to look at the course that we have today. So we'll this is a replica of the Sydney course that that was in SailGP. So as you can see, it's reaching start right in the shadow of the Shark Island over here, and reaching to the Mark 1. Fast rounding as much as the winds allow, going downwind to the gate, then from the gates tacking up into the upwind gate, and here is the choice, right or left, and the boundary on the left side is very close. And then after that one, reaching going to the Mark 1 and straight to the finish. So usual course, but with some small nuances that we'll be talking about later on.
It is a short course today, Ilya. It's going to be quite exciting. Only one up and down and then back to the reach to the finish. So yeah, not much time to overtake, not much time to do anything.
Indeed. And what kind of weather conditions we're going to have, Murray?
Yeah, light winds, 5 to 10 knots from the southeast, and which is a very odd direction for Sydney Harbour usually. So to replicate that in our virtual sailing. We'll do the best we can.
That's right. So let's look at the teams which are registered right now. So we have a usual roster of the teams participating in this race. But I think if we look at the competitors, I think it's worth mentioning that this time we also had Icaro, who was joining from Brazil and actually indeed representing the Brazil. So looking forward to meet and see him again on the next event in Rio, as well as we haven't seen, I think, for a while, Raptor Cowboy and the Seraphim team. It's also good to have him here. Otherwise, usual roster of the very strong players, including Koob and Murray representing France and Australia in full manual. How do you feel? Murray, about sailing such difficult light conditions in full manual?
I was really excited for this one today because full manual, although some people might say the opposite, it really helps in the light winds to be able to take off earlier. You've got more control of all your control surfaces. That really makes it a bit more dynamic in the way that you get up on the foils and go fast compared to some auto controls.
Right. All right. So now let's jump into the race 1 and see how it all plays out.
Race 1 of event 3, Sydney. Here we go.
Here we go.
2 minutes 20 to go. So pretty big start box to start off with today, which is a lot of run up. You can come in from a fair way back and get a lot of speed, but it's a bit risky because, well, if you don't get back up on the foils in time, you're going to be left at the back of the pack, which I'm sure we will see throughout the day.
There is also, as you can see right on the bottom of the screen, we have a boundary of the Shark Island. Do you consider it anytime in the play? Does this restrict your starting procedures, or are you planning, what you're thinking is that it's easier to start from the bottom? At least I see that Australia is actually testing the grounds on the top side of the line.
Yeah, 1 minute 30 to go. The Mark 1 was quite high, so it almost wasn't a reach. You were almost pointing a tight reach, as they might say, pointing upwind a little bit. So the only way that Shark Island would really become a problem is if you were to get forced out at the top, but there still seems to be enough space, kind of, if you got shut out. But yeah, Australia's really going to be going for that top end, it looks like, maybe. 1 minute to go.
Right. So in the SailGP race, I think we also had a very strong representation of strong performance of the Australia team. As you can see, they just took the first place. Why do you think? Is it really local knowledge plays so much? I mean, I know that Tom has probably sailed in this water so many times, but so the other sailors. Does it play?
I'm not sure about, honestly, when it was coming from the different direction like that, probably not. 10 seconds to go here. Everyone's really high in the start box. They're not going to have much room to, just what you were talking about might become a problem, but Spain's okay. China's off the start line. Clear start. Get a bit of a better camera angle here. An in-game penalty dished out. Australia's really close on the... Oh, they had to dunk it in there to kind of slow down. They were going to run into the back of Canada.
This is the umpire. Disregard the game penalty on Australia. No penalty on Australia.
No penalty on Australia. That's good. All clear by the looks of it. China on the inside. They're going to make Mark 1 first. Spain close behind with Artemis in third. Pretty good speeds, 32 knots.
This is the umpire. Disregard penalty on Canada. Disregard game penalty. No penalty.
No penalty. The in-game is trying to dish out penalties, but getting it wrong every single time so far. We've got a couple boats going left, trying to get clear air. China looking really strong.
I think it's very often when the wind is so light, sailors get very, very close to each other, which actually we see on the 3D models that there is no intersection. They're really very close. However, for the game, it's way too close for comfort. So
Way too close.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting really close up in here. Rockall, Denmark, France doing a jibe. Artemis looking good on Sweden there. China rounding the left-hand side first. Spain coming in on starboard. They're going for a left-hand turn too. Looks like more wind out on the right-hand side of the course now.
Everybody's choosing their right side.
Oh, except France. France is gone.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Interesting choice.
See if it pays off. Australia, Germany, Canada, all way back in the pack. They're going to have to do work some magic to get back to the front there. How's France looking?
The boundary on the left side is relatively close, and I thought that that would be a limiting factor for reducing the, as the teams would like to reduce the amount of tax. However, I think France is even tagged before the boundary, so they are not using the whole space. Is it because maybe the right side has a little bit more pressure?
Right side looks like it's paid off pretty good, but the pack on the right side there, they're all still staying together like that. Look at... You got Sweden, Spain, Denmark, Brazil even, not too far behind. They've all gone for the ley line. See if it pays off. Oh, France tacks again. Trying to work something different.
I think Kubis must be very comfortable about his abilities to do the tacks in this light wind, because
Definitely.
yeah, that's the key factor. Let's look at let's go on board and see how the tack is made. Exiting at just the edge of the board, like 16 knots. So I think this is pretty much almost at the edge of the foiling.
Really fast re-acceleration there out of the tack though. I don't know what he's doing. I'd love to know some of those secrets, but China rounding down, going downwind now. Looking pretty loose actually on China there. What the,
Oh.
Bit of a splashdown.
Yeah.
Close cross here. Oh, just France didn't have the right of way there. Brazil had the right of way, but we'll see if that's a penalty. Just clear.
No, I think it was just clear. There was no protest from the sailors, so, and there's no game penalty. So yeah, close, but
it's going to be really fun looking at the confidence on Cube. I think they're really confident. They know what they can do, and look at that. They're up to 4th. They picked the right side as well.
This is pretty close game. The boats are within really just a few, couple of dozen, just 23 meters separates the
Look
first
at that, yeah.
and second boat. Yeah.
Spain and China drag racing right now. A little bit faster on China. Oh, it's slowing down. Clear air on Spain just. They're staying in that lane just above them on the hip so they can keep their air clear, keep their acceleration high. Oh, he goes for a job.
Oh, but would he be able to lay to the mark?
Really
wind.
tight angle there. They're managing to accelerate. That's quite impressive on Spain there.
Going so low angle, but still managing to keep the windward hull out of water. Amazing.
Really good boat handling. Really impressive stuff. France rounding now, opting for the left-hand side. Up into third.
Again, just want to remind here that the France is again on the full, one of the two boats which is in the full manual in this this game.
So we're going up to the last mark now. We can see just there, last mark rounding, they'll be rounding to the right. So Spain has to do another tack and then another tack, 2 maneuvers, whereas China might be able to lay in one. They're pointing pretty high though. We'll see if it pays off. – 22 knots on. Not sure what Germany's doing there. They're 2,200 meters. They're trying to stay out of people's way, I think, but they're on the wrong leg. They're not involved at the moment. China, they've managed to lay. Right-hand turn to the finish. Back in the pack, we've got France coming up, and Spain might have the inside here. They've got the right of way. What do?
Oh, that's very interesting also situation, because that's where we have a little bit different set of rules about what the starboard boat can do or not do in the high-speed race. But here we see no foul. Everybody played fairly. All good. So now, who's gonna take the finish now? It looks
Congratulations
like
to China for taking the race win, and France. Oh, who got that? France.
France took the second place. Yeah.
By 1 second. Oh. Wow. Really good stuff. Full manual on that France boat. And they're coming out with second in race 1. With Sweden, Team Artemis coming in 4th. Pretty good race, pretty close between first and second.
Yeah, I don't think it just really looked that dramatic compared to the previous regatta that we had in Auckland, but nevertheless, I'm sure that whenever there is a light wind, the nerves are really, really high on the sailor. How did it feel in this race just to keep the boat foiling in full manual? Was it difficult?
Very difficult. I didn't manage to really kind of master the foiling tack in this kind of weather. I was talking up full manual before, but I couldn't quite figure it out. I think most of my tacks I would fall off and have to go H1 for a little bit, just with one hull in the water. So I came out as sixth place. Isn't, that's mid-fleet. That's not too bad. I'm not like super confident, but I'm feeling kind of all right. Like,
yeah,
maybe I can salvage this race 1.
Yeah, mid position, it's pretty good. But we have a very here we have the results. Good strong start by China, France, and Spain. But I think there is really a lot to go. We have 2 boats, I think, that did not finish, and so they just scored 0 points at the end.
Yeah, we actually don't have a New Zealand. The Black Foils didn't manage to make it out on the water in time for this regatta, by the seams of it, by race 1 at least. We'll see if they make it in the future. And Germany, they didn't manage to finish the race, although they were on the course.
That's right, yeah. So we have a little explanation of the situation that was happening at the right turn mark. So I'll just go to the umpire studio and just have the explanation from the official umpire briefing that was before the race.
So during the official umpire briefing, I would like just to take the attention of the teams into a particular situation that we might have in high-speed rules. So when the boats are coming, not to the gate, but to the mark which will be around it to starboard, as we have over here the example from the training. And the boat in the traditional racing rules of sailing, there is no limitations on the starboard boat. So the starboard boat can actually, as long as it complies with all the other rules, it can continue sailing the course and affect the course of the port boat. However, in high-speed rules in America's Cup, there was introduction of the rule that also migrated later on to the match race, which forces the boat, which is on the starboard, in this case it's Brazil, to tack if they need to tack, if they're inside overlap right away boat and they need to change the tack, they cannot sail farther from the proper course if that would affect the course of the port boat. So it is remember that in this situation, when we have this mark, the mark which is rounded to starboard and to finish, which happens every now and then in SailGP and Hydrofoil GP, that your starboard boat cannot sail farther from the proper course. Nevertheless, that you need to also remember, as a port boat, you need to keep clear, and in any case, even if the other boat is breaking the rules, and you need to remember that this rule is not working at the gate. So for more information, check to the rules 18.3. So hope that's helped to explain this particular situation that we have in the configuration of the course for Sydney.
Yeah, really interesting little caveat there with the rules, because you think, well, I got boy room, this is great, I'm gonna push this person up all the way as much as I can, but no, actually you can't. You got to sail that proper course to the finish line.
Indeed. All right, so race 2.
2 minutes 30 to go. We'll see if race 1 gave anyone any ideas of what to do at the start. There was a fair few boats right at the back of the pack there, 10 seconds late, 20 seconds late even.
I see that the teams are more or less sticking to the same tactics. I think again Australia is somewhere on the top, but probably not as high as it was before, and the rest of the team are at the lower part of the box.
Yeah, I think it would probably be best to try and make it up to the top of the line here, closest to the camera, but right on time. And to gain enough speed, you'd want to be going upwind, kind of following this yellow line all the way up for a pretty good start. But you can see Mark 1 there. It's pretty high up.
So the race 1 had best starter Egris from Spain, so let's see, and he actually had unbelievable 0.02
oh my God.
seconds, but let's see if anybody is able just to beat his record now.
1 minute to go. Everyone's pretty high up in the start box here. I guess they're going to come down and work their way back up, but maybe they're all trying to start high.
Yeah. I think this is probably again that the teams are also probably trying to adjust and see what is the tactics and of the other sailors in terms of the positioning, because start is the game where it's actually very difficult just to play only your own game. You really need to be aware all the time where the rest of the boats are and anticipate what would be their positioning.
10 seconds to go. Artemis looking pretty good on Sweden, coming in with speed here. Australia as well. Spain, Germany with speed. Clear start.
That's right, and now we have the best starter, actually Australia, with a 0.2 seconds.
Oh, pretty happy with that. That's nice. But look at this. Spain is rolling over the top of Australia right now. Australia can't get the speed up. And now they're going to be getting dirty wind pretty soon. But Germany coming in from the outside as well.
Yeah. It looks like these a little bit lower angles are just paying off. I think that probably that's the middle of the line is the best position to start.
Seems that way. France on the outside of Australia. Australia in third. France fourth. Artemis fifth. Denmark coming in sixth position. Everyone's pretty close. I'm gonna try and move this camera, sorry.
Canada had to jibe away. I think staying in the dirty wind of all this boat is a difficult option, but pulling off the jibe immediately after the rounding is also a pretty difficult feat.
Spain taking the first jibe back to... They're going for the left-hand gate. Australia follow. Germany, they've got a nice angle. They're going to have better speed going in there, but Spain, they've done pretty well to catch that. Tight in the pack here. Denmark going in on the inside. Oh, so close.
That was close.
See if there's any penalties there.
No protest.
Seems pretty
so
clean. Australia rounding in second. Oh. Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, but by the look of it, it was possibility for the Denmark to protest, but however, there is no protest and no in-game penalty, so all clear here. Okay.
Everyone's playing nice for now. We'll see how this upwind leg goes. Everyone's gone for the left hand, so now they're on the right side of the course. Artemis
right.
tack.
Except that Sweden is now just taking that tactics that was taken in the race one by France. Going for a split, they went for a split, but then tacked away and still trying not to increase leverage from the course. I don't think there is really much to find here on the left side, so it seems the whole fleet is betting on the right side of the course.
Paid off last race. Everyone's betting it's going to pay off this race. See if everyone follows Spain here. Germany go a bit further. Again, faster angles. It's going to get hot in here. Everyone's going to tack soon. France tacking. Australia going wide. Denmark has to avoid. All clean. Everyone's going to have to pick their lanes, try and keep their clear air for a long time here to get all the way to the gate. Artemis, which lane will they pick? Wow, right in front of Denmark and Australia, just making it a little bit more difficult. Getting really close. Oh, France has a little dip.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
going to hurt.
That's gonna hurt. Germany's rolling them over. And it looks to me that this dip made it so that France is probably not gonna be able to lay to the mark. So they would need to tack. No, they're not.
They're going to have to go through port, through the whole fleet just to... Oh, gee, that's going to be...
And look at this wall of that of the boats. I think finding you need to really thread the needle.
Here they go.
That's gonna be a tight cross over here.
Just in front of Denmark. Oh, again.
I think Denmark had to take an avoiding action here.
It looked like it. Australia as well. China taking avoiding action from
this
Australia.
Is the umpire protest on Denmark, penalty, France, port boats not keeping clear.
Whoa.
Fall behind Denmark.
Wow. So penalty was dished out, in fact. Wrapped a cow on Denmark, getting a nice little penalty there.
Really interesting how this one tiny dip that France had affected them so much that they were not on the lay line and actually created that difficult situation, and now that might cost them more.
Full-on snowball effect, exactly right.
Yeah.
And
when
we'll
it starts
see,
to go wrong, it just starts to rolling.
and it just keeps going. Oh,
Oh,
whoa!
look at this! Oh my God!
Collision. They went right into each other. What was? Oh my goodness.
What happened there?
Sweden had right of way, and Germany just didn't react. And another. Oh,
This is the umpire. Penalty Germany. Port boat not keeping clear. And -3 points for the collision.
big ouchie on that one. That's not going to be good for season points for Germany.
I think it was just some unfortunate mishap on the Germany boat, because I just really, I think if we look at the replay, there is nothing that just brought that situation, honestly. I think there was no. Yeah, I think if we look over here in the replay from the umpire studio, yeah, it was just a sudden course, or maybe trying to avoid the starboard boat, but a little bit too late. So yeah,
Germany just didn't see him, and then Artemis kind of try and avoid as well, and they just butt heads, which is rather unfortunate for Sweden. They were doing, they have good races every once in a while, but they're really not having very good luck so far in this regatta. Spain is coming into the finish line here. Good on them. That's a race win in the bag. Very nice. Second place, on the other hand, is going to be an interesting one. We got France coming in here, putting in a last-minute attack. China on the inside, they might get right away. This will be another situation of keeping your proper course, and if you don't, penalties might get dished.
I think they probably none of those boats would need to tack to starboard. So basically, in this case, it's the basic rules just all now entered. They all need to give each other the mark room to the inside boat. But yeah, they were all coming in a very tight lay, except France, perhaps.
All super slow. France just getting a little bit pushed up by Australia there, but it looks like China will take second place. And France in third.
Yeah, it was really, really close indeed.
Another good race. Artemis on
good
Sweden.
race indeed.
Coming in, what's that? 5th. Denmark 6th. And good old Canada back in 7th. Germany, nowhere to be seen. They've had another upset by the looks of it. They will probably get a DNF.
And this is the umpire. Penalty given to France for the port boat keeping clear. That penalty was not taken as soon as possible. That's -1 point. And France, after all, finished ahead of the Denmark boats that they were supposed to fall behind. So -1 point.
Ouch. France didn't take their penalty. And Denmark, I remember seeing just after that big crash as well, there was a little bit of an upset between Denmark. They were on port. They had to keep clear. And they fell off the foils.
Indeed, and I remember, I think for that one I hear from the umpire studio that it was a penalty, so I think there was a kind of like a little bit of the tussle between two of those boats, Denmark and France. First France was penalized and they did not take the penalty. However, on the next incident, Denmark was penalized, but since they came off the foils, their penalty was taken automatically because they were just right behind.
If we just go back, results here, race 1 and 2, that's, what do we got? Cumulative results. China 19, Spain on 18, and France in third on 15 points, -2. They're still in third, so they're doing full manual. France, well done. That's pretty good.
I think it starts to be shaping up already. Some contenders for the final. So obviously
Yeah,
the first two boats, China and Spain, are quite strongly having a quite strong lead. But when we look at the boats like France, Sweden, Australia, and Denmark, I think all of them have a really just good shot and very solid shot. I think
100%.
for the finals.
Mid-fleet is looking strong for that third place upset. It's always the way. The third place always gets tussled over, even second maybe, but I don't know, Spain and China look pretty confident, but third place, up for grabs.
Well, having said about the results for the Sydney, I must say that we already opening the voting for the race day for the Rio. So next weekend is the SailGP, the IRL race in Rio. And immediately or quite soon after that one, we will have a Hydrofoil GP, which is on the replicated course with the same wind conditions that the SailGP sailors experienced. And the voting for your preferred day, that's when it's gonna happen. The Hydrofoil GP is opening today, so stay tuned. Go to the Discord and vote for your favorite day. So.
Hell yeah, so excited. About time we get to the fourth event.
Right.
My racing fingers have been twitching.
Excellent.
But
yeah, it's been a long break now, right? It's
we're coming up on 3 weeks. We've been doing this every week, which has been an absolute blast, and reliving all the events we've done so far have been great fun.
Yeah.
But it's time to go racing.
It's time
100%.
to go racing, and here we have race 3 in Sydney.
2 minutes, 10 seconds to go.
I could see that the teams are still playing more or less the same tactics. Australia is at the top, preferring this angle, but everybody else at the bottom of the box.
Australia really does love coming in high. And France, yeah, look, everyone's going to have to go back and then back again. So we'll see a bit closer to 1 minute what their actual tactics are. China's looking quite slow. They might just be going for a run-up. Really taking their time. Close little cross there between Artemis and China. Getting a bit close. It's a lot less wind, so it's kind of everything's a bit slower. You can kind of get a bit closer and get a bit more spicy, even if you're feeling like we've seen more penalties dished out already than the last Auckland event, which was 24 to 30 knots of wind, which is an interesting kind of way to look at it. 1 minute to go.
I think it is when the wind is strong, you know that the other boats might be a little bit unstable, might slide, might even capsize. So you don't want to push the limits, because some of the things on the boat which is in front of them can happen unexpectedly. So you don't trust. Oh, that was a close cross that right now we see on the screen. Like
they keep coming back at each other. Yeah.
Right.
20 seconds. Spain's coming in nice and slow. They're going to just wind it up. China calling them up a bit. Okay. They're going all the way down now. 7 seconds. 5, 4, 3. China, they're going to... God, just
yes.
Clear start.
I thought that would be OCS, but actually... China made the 0.15 seconds best start. Excellent.
It is in fact from the mast of the boat that the start line is OCS is counted. Artemis coming in nice and hot here, 34 knots. They're in space. They got everything that they've ever wanted, and then 3 wide behind them. Germany
rolling everybody.
Wow. That was so close. See who goes for the early jibe. China super deep there. Australia jibing away. very messy. Oh, gee.
I think again, so we see pretty much the tactics that everybody wants to push it to the boundary or at least to the ley line to the left turn mark. And I think choosing the right side on the downwind leg is kind of like only a kind of desperate option. Oh, we have a quite close cross.
China and Artemis, the penalty dished out on Artemis, Sweden. That was a bit of a stretch from China there. Look at them.
And this is the umpire confirming game penalty on Sweden, port boat not keeping clear.
Wow. Yep. It was, I mean, China that's probably one of the best penalties I've seen. They dug so deep there to get that on, and it was just so close.
Yeah.
But no collision.
Yeah, I think it is indeed the way how you also to play this penalty, or actually it also matters. I think if we can just see here on the replay that the boat here was able to sail the. As you can see, China was able to point down and then hold the course and then take the avoiding action. So I think this is a classic match race move, which that's where you can give the penalty to another boat, compared to if you're constantly just going lower and lower and lower and trying to hunt the boat. Usually that would be a no penalty call. So, but yeah, well done. China played it really well.
100%, and you can see it's paid off here, right neck and neck. We've got Spain and China. Again, close, like the same last race on the downwind. They were neck and neck on each other's hip. France and Germany not far behind in third and fourth. Spain tack, China tacking on the inside. They're not going to lay from there, I don't think.
Yeah. No, it
Maybe.
doesn't look that. Yeah, I think at least Spain looks like in a really good position, but I think China is basically being controlled and depends on what is decided by the Spain. However, it now looks like they're just laying.
China's calling them up, but it's not enough. They've lost too much speed, but Spain's going to have to still keep clear, but if they can gain enough speed to get around the top of them, it's so slow. Oh, gee.
Very slow rounding, yeah.
France might be able to come in here and steal the show. Look at that. China's gone for a jibe. It's not going to work. Down to 3 knots. And France they're up to third. There you go.
So the boats which took the right turn, now they're gaining. They're gaining and leading position because basically they just kept their speed.
Back to Artemis, Sweden, coming up in first place. Look at that. Absolutely stationary. Spain, the leader of the race, of all the races. And China, only just back up on the foils.
So let's go on board. What do you do then? Now, okay, they're back to the speed, and only then they are able just to point lower. But
you got to go on a reach, to get back up on the foils. It's really quite difficult to have any sort of depth when you're going downwind. You need to come all the way up, jump on the foils, and then you can point down, and you lose so much from doing that.
As often you could see that even when the wind's in lights, the foiling boats just really need to do the reach back and forth without doing any of the VMG sometimes until they find their favorite path of wind.
Yep. VMG only goes so far in this light stuff, and sometimes just not necessary at all. VMG, velocity made good. It's basically your angle compared to your speed and the most efficient way to get there. Coming in is sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to mention that we have a Sydney time trial opened already, and you could actually also go and just compare yourself to the sailors which are on the screen right now, and also even SailGP sailors compared to, that was quite close for China, but they managed just to stay clear from the other boats. So yeah. Head to the time trial and try yourself to beat the best sailors over here. So as you can see already, you have a really good participation in the time trial for F50.
I just today actually, on this course, the Sydney time trial course, I think I got 10 minutes and 11 seconds. I'm third place. By God damn it, and I wasn't even trying that hard, so I'm pretty excited to maybe take this one out, this light air time trial out for myself.
Right.
Pretty close in the pack here, toward the back. For that third place, I think the results are going to be showing all sorts of weird things. Germany is still in third. France tacking again. They weren't going to lay. They've had to... Oh, gee. Close cross. Germany keeping clear. France on top of them.
Yeah, it's quite close. But again, to remind that France is sailing on the full manual mode, and sometimes it shows during the attack. But after they come back up, I think you could see that they're quite solid and quite fast. But don't think they can actually take that one. Germany is taking that to the finish.
Coming in for second place, Germany with France in third. That's pretty good. And Artemis took the race out. They're a gunslinger. They can whip it out of the hat when they need to. First place for Artemis, Sweden. And Australia coming in fourth. Back of the pack. We got Brazil, China, Spain again, I think, coming in for a spicy rounding.
This is really close. Look at this.
Oh, penalty on Spain, maybe. Brazil somehow coming out on top of that. Look at that, and they're off. That got very squishy. Oh my goodness. And to take... fifth place.
And this is the umpire. Penalty Spain. Both clear astern, not keeping clear. Penalty taken. And -3 points for the contact.
Oofed. Collision contact penalty points dished out to the season leaderboard. That's no good.
We have the look how close that collision was. I think if we actually now just take a look, this is very Spain almost cleared it, but you just could clearly see that there's a tiny intersection of the polygons there, and that's where the whole collision happened. This is also amazing that's how in this game the rendering and everything could be just so precise, and you can zoom in so you could very clearly check what was the positions of the boat in every particular case. Yeah.
What a blessing it is to be able to, replay all of this in whatever camera angle we want. We can zoom right round, zoom right in, and play it all in slow-mo. It's bloody wonderful.
Yeah, that's a great platform for learning. All right, so what do we have? Race 3 ended. We have Sweden actually taking... And look at this, all 3 boats on the top, 23 points.
23 points. Front. Oh my God.
This is really close.
It's flipped. China and Spain having that bad one, which it definitely was, has put them right back down to 3rd and 4th place. I was saying before, it's going to be pretty much, no doubt, 1st and 2nd is, they're untouchable. Untouchable, I said. And I was dead wrong.
And if Spain would not get their 3 points, they would be the 4th boat with the 23 points on top. This is extremely tight racing that we have over there for actually place in the final and for winning this race.
And then even back in the middle of the fleet, Australia, Denmark, and Canada. Maybe not Canada so much, but Australia and Denmark, they still got a chance. If, Spain and China had a bad one, whoopsie daisy. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
And as we talk about the time trials, which is a really great way for everyone to practice their boat handling and maneuvers while you're by yourself on the course. However, I think it's also important in the situation like that just to test yourself how you're going against the other boats and be prepared for the race. So we have an idea about the official training day, and after you will vote for the Rio, we will select the second best option before the event, which will be an official training day. It doesn't go to any results, doesn't go to, it might be umpired or might be not, but this is a place for everyone to gather around and then prepare a little bit for the race. Very like you've been this was a brainchild of you, this idea, so tell me how you came up with this idea and why we actually can benefit from the official training.
Yeah, I think in fact I was talking to someone else even about it, maybe Liam or just someone, and they thought of it just like almost a role play training day. And what better day to do it on is than the runner-up that most people have said they can make. And so, just a bit more of a casual way of doing some races together and getting some training up. We're also thinking about maybe incorporating like a commentary coach training kind of role that maybe teams can extrapolate on, and it's been done before and we'd love to bring it back. Yeah.
Exactly. I think that would be a really great way for us to experiment and try the new things before, while actually making sure that we have a lot of sailors already in the place. So basically go to the Discord, vote for the best days that suit your schedule. We'll have a race on the day which actually has the most competitors, but for the second best runner-up event will be an official training day. So action is coming in just a little bit over a week.
Hell to the yeah. Very exciting. More racing. Very good. That's what we like to hear. Let's get into race 4.
Race 4. There we go.
2 minutes to go.
That's gonna be the decider.
The decider of so much, really. There's so much going on here. For third place, who's going to be in the final?
I think there is, as we can see, that the points were so close. So it's pretty much, I don't think we have any clear contender over here. I think everybody on the top of the leaderboard for this regatta can still make it to the final. And once you make it to the final, there we go. Then it's a completely new game.
Oh, excuse me. It's restarting. Here we go. 2 minutes to go.
No worries. Yeah.
I think we might have been figuring out some penalty points after the third race and trying to dish them out before race 4.
Okay.
1:45. Sorry, one more time. Here we go. All right. Wow. Let's just go to 2 minutes.
It's worth watching it again to keep the suspense.
God, we were
running.
really, yeah.
2 minutes, huh? Okay.
Heaps of suspense. That was like a solid 20 minutes of us dawdling in Discord talking about who's maybe not going to make it.
Yeah.
I reckon. Look, I'm just putting it out there. Maybe Australia could fucking, excuse my French, but pull a rabbit out of the hat and make a meal of the rest of them.
I mean, there should be some home turf advantage, right? I mean,
Home turf
Australia is
advantage. Exactly.
at the sole venue, so if win the final place or even the race or the whole regatta, so why not now? So I think that's about the time then to do it. So
Just got to
last. So we're here
refresh
at
the
the last
camera.
minute.
Helicam. 1 minute to go. That's better.
Everybody is at the boundary, so basically positioning the timing and
Yeah, everyone's really late coming in for this last one. Everyone knows there's so much on the line. Everyone has the chance of getting into the final pretty much. Everyone's gunning for it. Trying to come in with speed. 22 seconds to go.
China is at the leeward, and Australia is trying just to take that leeward place.
Australia really back deep in the pack. It's going to be a tough angle. Brazil might get squashed here. Oh, gee,
Ooh, that's
China
very
pushing
close.
them up.
Oh, last minute laugh on Brazil. That was aggressive.
Good
Look at
avoiding action.
no, but yeah, no foul, no penalty, and the best starter is on China, Diogo, 0.18 seconds. Well done. He went quite ballistic on that Brazil with that laugh.
Yeah, that was good control. Looking pretty good on France here. They might be able to roll over the top Australia. Just that angle is too sharp. Not doing good things for him. France coming in first at Mark 1. But Australia in second. China in third. Brazil. Sweden in fourth.
Yeah.
Sweden jibing away straight away. Hasn't paid off that left side, that early jibe. Australia jibing as well though. And Canada.
They see maybe something on the right side. That's where the home knowledge is maybe paying off. And I mean, it is something about knowing Sydney, as we also see that in SailGP, most of the wins were actually coming from Australia, and they were all the time in the final. There's something about knowing that Sydney waters.
Yep, every Australian is from Sydney. That is how it works down under. And we are all sailors as well. It's just a fact of the world.
What a wonderful country to live in.
It is pretty good. Beaches are bloody lovely. Split pack here. Bloody China taking first place. France in second. Yeah, the left side didn't pay off, did it? Although
No.
France is attacking now. Might get a bit squishy here for Germany coming in on port.
We've seen that before. That move made on France, and don't think it's just paid off. But now look, it's more or less even split, 50-50. It's just due to the lot of boats going and dishing for the right side.
Yeah, only a 50-meter lead from China. France is right behind them. And the back of the pack is not far behind either. I reckon it's anyone's game still. We'll see how this upwind leg pays off. Kind of looks like a bit of a shift. I feel like China way up the top there and Brazil, their angle isn't so great. Maybe there's been a wind shift to the right.
Might be.
Each race is different.
I think it's still in this race the whole fleet is still somewhat more compacted. I think it's we always see it that even during the 4 races that we have, fleet races, teams get to know the handling, get to know the conditions, and they improve, and actually the game starts to be much closer in the last races of the day.
100%. It really does seem to affect. If you compare race 1 to race 4, there's always a fair bit of difference. I guess you can compare it to SailGP and probably the same thing. Glad we don't have 2 days with different conditions on each that we have to get used to for this regatta.
It's all about learning. I think France is pressing and just keeping themselves quite close to China.
Yeah, they've got good
Still,
speed.
yeah. And looking at them, not a bad
Oh,
tag. Kept foiling, just touch and go, and now they're actually at the higher lane and better speeds than.
yeah, only just. Brazil's going to have a tough time making their way up there. They're going to be losing speed. China rounding the gate. Look at that, 29, maybe into the 30s. France coming round. I see the acceleration. Compare it to China's. They hit 30, just. I reckon I'd put that down to full manual, better control, more nuance, and being able to control the boat better. Really. Oh, Australia diving in on the inside there.
Yeah, that was a good move, as Brazil was trying to get to the mark and slow down. They actually opened the door for Australia to go in, but look, the Australia still goes to the right side of the course. Interesting.
Yeah, just trying to play it nice, I think. Didn't want to get to the boundary and get caught out. If you fall off the foils, you're pretty screwed. And
Yeah.
I think playing a clean race is up to third right now. Maybe he can consolidate this into some proper speed. 29 compared to 28 on Brazil.
And very often, if you are taken to the boundary, you would just really need to react to what the other boat is doing, which has the room at the boundary, which gives you disadvantage in deciding when you want to jibe. You might be slow, you might be not ready to drop the boards, and so I think sometimes it pays off just to be safe and jibe when you can jibe.
Now Brazil's fallen off the foils, having to take avoiding action from Australia. They might struggle to lay again. Brazil's not having a good day. Bad luck. But they might get the inside here, and then Australia might have to do the same thing and duck inside on the inside again. See if they can pull it off. If they go wide, they can manage this. Yeah.
Yeah, so
He goes for it. There it is.
Oh, that is good move. That is a really good move. So enter wide, exit tight. So that's pretty playbook scenario. So the only issues here would be Australia be able to live here. No, they just need to attack away to keep their
and got to give it
clean.
Got to give props to Brazil as well. They've been doing a good job on jibing or tacking on the inside and managing to live there and just making it super difficult for the Australians. Back to the front of the fleet. No, sorry, that is the back of the fleet. Front of the fleet, we've got China. Pretty close. They're laying the last mark. Right-hand turn to the finish. And they'll be home and hosed. That, I reckon that will solidify China's place in the final.
Yeah. That seems to be a really now solid win for China. Good boats handling, good positioning. I think we also have all the other boats are quite now start to be spread around, so we don't really have a much drama going on. So it's all about just keeping your maneuvers clean right now. There is
Brazil and Australia coming back together yet again. Australia attacking in front, yeah. But Brazil's got some speed. Maybe Brazil could go on the inside, but no, they want to keep clear air, stay on top. They might be able to roll over the top here. If Australia can't hold on to it, they're a bit loose. There's the finish line. They've done it. Rolled right over the top of them. Pretty good, pretty good. Clean little tussle between those, but throughout the whole race, they were just, they were going at each other the whole
It's a
time.
good part of this kind of format that you always might have the little match races going on in between some of the boats, but yeah, so that was a really good example of it.
Yeah, wow.
It's a,
Oh, good race.
it is. So now there is a lot of
Got to shake that
who's.
off. Who's in
Let's
the
see
final?
who's in the finals. So China, yes, that's is
Holy
not
moly.
surprise. And France, it's clear, but look at this. Third
There's
and
no
fourth
way.
place.
There's
Same
no
amount
way.
of points. It's a tie.
Oh my goodness. And Artemis on Sweden, they've had such a bad run this whole, like, they've managed to stay up there in the top of the leaderboard, and they've had such a bad run. They kept, getting a bad hand dealt every single race. Very impressive work. But does that mean Australia is, they came in ahead first in the last race?
Yeah, so it works this way that when there is a tie, we'll be looking at the results of the last race. And if we look at the race 4, Australia performed better, so they took the 7 points. That's why they also would be positioned higher when this tie is resolved. So I think now we have 2 full manual sailors in the final, and
Holy moly.
I'm really just I think we also have Australia as the there is probably something to this home turf advantage here. Everybody knows the stereotypes are true, right?
Yes, the stereotypes are true. As we discussed before, they all sail, and they're all every international team has an Australian on the boat. That's just a well-known fact.
And every Australian is wearing the Bonds, right? Is that the Bonds underwear?
Well, shivers, I'm not wearing any at the moment, but that's all right.
All right.
Yes, Bonds, typically Bonds.
I'm happy that we are just keeping now the cameras off. That seems to be the good choice. But...
Yeah, of course. I wouldn't put anyone through that, no.
Okay, so now, before we go to the final, we need to reload the final game here. I think it's also worth to talk a little bit about the other teams and their performance. So it looks that even though it was a very close call with Artemis, they had a very, very solid performance. For Spain, I think it was quite good results. However, hold on a second. Technical difficulties. I'm not sure why we are having this just mess around here, but I think we are probably
apologies, that was me, sorry.
Okay,
I screwed it up. Oopsie daisy.
Controlling the same environment from the different places. Yeah, it just but we probably able to go already now towards the final, or do we need to still reload?
Okay, sorry, I'm just loading. Yep.
Okay.
That's the wrong one.
Will be.
We'll go 1 minute until the start. I can stop at 50. Should I stop it?
No, it's okay. I'll catch up.
All right, sweet. And the final race of the Sydney event. It's Australia, China, and France. 30 seconds to go. They're all coming in hot.
Yeah, now it's everybody's game here. So, and I think we know how the start is important for all these races. So I think we...
China's way too early.
But they have room actually just to go up, but they might bleed the space and
5
lose a little
seconds.
bit.
4, 3, 2. Everyone's pretty slow. Oh, gee, clear start though.
Oh no, well, but I think Australia took a pretty good start with a good speed. I think that was the fastest speed. Now they're just a little bit, yeah, still on par with France.
How's this drag race between the two full manual sailors? Who's faster? I mean, France has the better angle, and they're just, look at that, 2 knots faster, 3 knots faster. Australia just can't keep up. Oh, God. They're over the top. They've done it.
China is... Yeah.
Wow.
But Australia is keeping themselves on again on the quite low lane. Oh, was difficult to keep there and actually just going for a jibe. So obviously this one extra maneuver is all the time adding a little bit of a complexity, and you probably want to go as France all the way until the ley line, but that's only you get if you're in the leading position.
All right, everyone's made their last jibe to get to the bottom gate here. China could get on the inside. They've gone from 3rd to 1st potentially.
How is that happened? I think China was getting on the lower, was sailing lower and faster.
Lower and faster, and they just jibed earlier. And France, I guess their ley line was a bit too wide, sailing too much distance compared to China, who just managed to catch themselves and get a really good jibe in. Very impressive. Australia not far behind. They're still in it. I feel like it's still a close race.
So we have the same split that we had before, so that France is preferring the left turn, but look at this. It's gonna be 2 boats approaching the boundary. Yeah, Australia just tacks away earlier from the hassle.
Keeping it clean, keeping it clean. That's my motto.
Once the boat is out on the boundary, you can safely tack to port, and the other boat, even though they're starboard, they would need to give you room to sail the proper course. So what's on your mind right now, Maza? Like, you know, you're in the final. Are you just really thinking that I'm gonna now just push and take all kind of risks that is possible because it's all on the line, or you just think it's business as usual, so sail clean?
Pretty much. As you can see, I just tack there again, thinking, oh, another maneuver? Let's do it. Why not? Yeah, that's a good idea. Just trying to, but in all honesty, trying to do something different. I'm in the back of the pack already. You know, I think the first drag race, you know, that Mark 1 drag race right at the beginning, and France just going over the top of me, it was really demoralizing, to be honest. Like, I just can't keep up with this guy. Yet China managed to just get that one better jibe, and that's how they managed to take the lead. Like, so, you know, I'm kind of in my own head, I guess, a bit, and I'm just trying anything different. But I'm still managing to follow France around.
Yeah, what is really interesting in this situation when you are at the trailing boat is that how do you manage the risk, and when are you taking the different decisions? Because on one hand, you could all the time go and split from the fleet, but most likely they are already sailing on the better angle and in the better wind. But
Exactly.
or you could just try to stay in behind and find opportunity. For example, right now we saw that France dropped from the foil, lost a few meters, and the distance has decreased. So sometimes it's also about the patience.
Yeah, the left-hand side there where France and Australia seems to really be paying off. China have made a mistake going for the inside of the gate because, yeah, except, no, I spoke too soon. Let's watch
Yeah.
let's watch the distance go back up. They're back up to
Yeah.
120 meter lead,
No,
just
but
as
look,
they jibe back.
now this close game between it was only like a minute ago that Australia was like 100 meters away behind France,
Yeah, yeah.
and just one drop of the foils and one bad jibe, and Australia is breathing the next. So that's what I'm just talking about. Sometimes you just need to be patient and know when to take the risk.
You're not wrong. Look at that, 70 meters between China and France, and then only 40 between France and Australia. It's the exact same as the first gate. Really close. Nice rounding. Oh, Australia's had a little... No, they're off. They've fallen.
Oh,
That's rough. And they're going for a... Oh, they're trying to tack. What are they doing? Oh, no.
oh,
Just to rub salt into the wound. They've decided to
oh,
tack.
that's a disaster.
Again, with the mindset of just doing something, I've just fallen off, all demoralized. Let's do something different. Maybe there's something out. Let's just tack. Let's do something. There's something out that other side. And to be honest, you can watch China. As soon as they saw me tack, they tacked on top of me. Either that or they just saw the ley line and that they could make it.
Well, yeah, I think this is China is basically now playing the defensive game. They want to stay in between the opponent and the next mark, and it is basically, if you're close to the ley line, so you better actually attack. So I think now we see that China is on the thin ley line. Let's go on board and see how they manage it. The speed is barely 20 knots. Let's do the
They were pushing
nice.
it as France is on 25, but it wasn't enough. China's made it, and they would have to have a pretty big stuff up to lose this one. I think event 3, Sydney goes the way of China. Diego Lima.
Yeah,
Well
well
done.
played. Well played. I think Diego was really nice. He often sails on the Brazilian boat, and he was kind enough just to give the Brazilian boat to Icaro, to the Brazilian sailor, and he took China and he took it to the win. Amazing.
He took it to the win. Very well done. And France in second, full manual sailor. Again, I think the most consistent team so far out of 3 events we can say has been France.
Yeah. So last but not least, we have Australia finishing. Yeah.
Third place, pretty good, honestly. Compared to the last 2 events, I was so chuffed just to have made the final. And third place really does me pretty good, yeah.
And what actually a great showcase for full manual sailors. I just cannot stop just admiring guys like sailing all these things. You're basically doing the work of 3 sailors on board, so everything except grinding you do in as a one sailor. It's amazing.
Feels like a bit of a workout, honestly, on the joysticks and the OTAS setup that I've got. But yeah, three rolls, I guess.
Right, so maybe you need to have a workout bike just to increase. So now we as we went from the hand grinding to the bike grinding, actually just to add a little bit of additional sweat by actually pedaling all the way through the finals.
It's not a bad idea, really. Yeah, I don't mind it.
Keep in a good shape. So all right, so let's see where we are right now in the whole standings. So
yes, let's have a look-see.
So after 3 events, so we have China leading, really good performance, and Spain and France as a team. And in addition to this, we have also individual skipper ranking, because the teams can be sailed by the different skipper. And yeah, good. First three sailors is Spain, Egris, Coupe from usually representing from Belgium, but representing usually France, and Diogo Lima from Portugal, and representing different boats. So very often in Brazil, and this time there was in China. I gave this point to China. All right, and again, full manual sailors. Hope just to see here more full manual sailors in the future, just to raise up the stakes and competition to the different sailors.
We're gonna have to pick a which event we're gonna do for the full manual event in the season at some point.
Yeah, that would be good. I think probably what do you think would be a good event in terms of the wind? I mean, you don't want to do it in the very light wind, and don't want to do it in strong wind. We just need to find which event has a good on power medium wind.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. You kind of want a nice balance.
Maybe 24 meter wing or something like that, or what do you think would be a good setup for it?
Well, we'll have to wait for the perfect SailGP event, I guess, and the perfect conditions to base it off that way. Maybe that's the way to kind of randomize it a bit and keep it not fair, but yeah. Anyway, we'll see.
Yeah. Well, having said that one, I think we have quite plenty of the events, and our next event is in Rio, so we can switch a little bit to the Rio Bossa Nova jazzy music. And let's...
Rio de Janeiro.
Yes, Rio, here we come. Yeah, what do you think about Rio event? It's gonna be next weekend. It's gonna be right in the center of this Guanabara Bay. I mean, I think gonna be Icaro will just probably kill me for really for pronouncing all these things wrong. But yeah, we are looking at this location right in the center over here. So, what do you think we can expect from the Rio event, SailGP event?
Yeah, we'll see. I was just actually looking up the wind, see if I can find what. If it's only a week out, we can probably get a wind.
I have a I think I here is
you've
the
got
wind.
it. Oh,
Yeah,
here we
I've
go.
got it.
You thought about it. Nice. What are we looking like? I'm very excited for some strong stuff, to be honest. And yeah, I watched the Olympics back in the day. That was a good one.
Probably about to disappoint. I mean, also the Olympics, I believe, I'm not sure that's where exactly the Olympics were done, but I believe they were done somewhere here, not in the bay. But this one, when we bring it closer to the sailors, so we are actually in a very light wind, at least where the forecast is coming. For the Saturday, we are kind of like looking at the... What is that? Oh, maybe afternoon brings a little bit of a 6 knots of winds here. I don't think we'll have any swell, but inside the harbor. But at 3 o'clock there should be 6 knots.
6 knots. Wowee! What fun!
Yeah. Well, but gusting to 12. So I mean that's would be probably enough just to take off.
Yeah, potentially. Maybe quite a shifty course, although it looks like the wind direction's coming out from the sea, so maybe quite a stable wind with the occasional gust and things like that, but we'll have to wait and see.
And for Sunday, I think that starts to look a little bit better, so we can see that there is a bit more wind out there. Probably, as you can see, that as the wind comes, there will be some gusts that come through between the hills and mountains here. So yeah, what do we have? 8 not stable, 13 gusting. So that should be should be good. Maybe that would be our, hopefully, if the wind stays there, that would be our
Base it on
wind.
the Sunday. Yeah, potentially.
Yeah. But it just really looks like it's gonna be raining. So if you're in Rio, bring the umbrella. It looks pretty neat.
That's so, wow.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. What a backdrop. That's going to be amazing.
I think the race would be just right over here, so the winds would be coming between the hills. So I would say that this
that
one
could
is
give a bit
really,
of a wind wash. Yeah,
this
it
is
could it get a bit gusty.
And that's that would be a really great location to be. And look at that, there is a street view on the water. So let's see who's was taking over here. Now this is the point of view. If you are a SailGP sailor, that's probably would be your point of view. But if you don't get to sail on the 50th SailGP, so come to the Hydrofoils and sail with us probably in the week, right?
Yeah, hopefully the week after the real, or sometime during that week after the Rio event. We'll be training, we'll be racing, we'll be scoring and putting it all on the season leaderboards.
Indeed. And the registration would be opening today. So go to Discord. We'll just post the link there, and let's vote, choose the place and the time. Okay. I think it was a really great event. It was spectacular, and thank you again, Murray. It was a pleasure. I think we had really a lot of interesting situations.
Always a blast on the Hydrofoil GP broadcast.
Indeed. See you in Rio.
See you in Rio.